She offered me anything I desired. When I said, I choose you, her entire world seemed to beginning. The first time I saw her, she wasn't really there. Her image shimmered before me inside a pale crystal orb, a holographic projection. So sharp it cut through the gray boredom of my life on the mining colony of 409. We miners weren't given much. An oxygen ration, 3 meals of synthetic protein paste, and 10 hours a day in the dark veins of a lifeless moon. Our reward for loyalty was a slow crawl toward retirement in a world none of us would live to see. But then the crystal orb appeared in my sleeping pod one night. No one admitted to leaving it. No miner ever received a gift, not from the company, not from each other. Suspicion should have driven me to throw it away, but the glow drew me in. When I touched it, she appeared, a woman made of light, her hair flowing like strands of molten gold, her skin faintly luminescent. Her eyes glimmered silver, deep as if they could pull me into a place far beyond the colony walls. Human, she said, her voice smooth and melodic, vibrating in my bones. You have been chosen. I laughed bitterly. Chosen? For what? More work hours? Another shaft dig? Her expression was unshaken. No, chosen entered the archive of desire. I thought it was some company test, another cruel psychological game to see how far a miner could bend before breaking. But when she extended her hand, light spilling from her palm, I touched it, and the colony fell away. I was no longer in my pod. I was standing inside a chamber vast as eternity, crystalline spires arching overhead like frozen lightning. Infinite mirrors floated in the air, each showing visions, worlds I didn't recognize, lives I had never lived, dreams I had never dared whisper. She stood before me, cloaked in a gown that flickered like a living nebula. You may choose, she said, anything your heart desires. Knowledge, power, wealth, freedom. All that is held in the archive can be yours. Her voice carried neither trickery nor malice. She seemed like a goddess out of legend, though one wrapped not in fire or storm but in light. I stared, bewildered. Anything. Her lips curved in the faintest smile. Anything. Middle. At first, I thought about the obvious things. I imagined returning to Earth, a place I'd never seen, only heard about in scraps from old miners who once lived there. The archive showed me a vision of ocean stretching endlessly blue, sunlight spilling on green forests. For a moment, I ached to step into that picture, but then doubt clawed at me. What would I do on Earth? I had no family, no friends left, just another lonely soul displaced. Knowledge, I whispered next. The mirrors shifted, showing me galaxies unfolding like flowers, equations unraveling in golden threads. Secrets of the universe laid bare. How stars are born, how time bends, how civilizations rise and fall. It was overwhelming, intoxicating. A miner like me could become more than human, someone who wielded the very truths of existence. And yet, there was an emptiness gnawing inside me. All that knowledge, and who would I share it with? What was the point of endless truths in a void of companionship? I looked back at her. She was silent, waiting, her eyes holding an infinite patience. What about you? I asked. She tilted her head, hair drifting like solar winds. I'm only a guide. My role is to grant what is chosen, nothing more. But there was something in her voice, something that betrayed a sliver of longing. I pressed. Do people ever choose you? She hesitated. For the first time, her composure cracked, her silver eyes softening. They can, she admitted quietly, but they never do. Her words hung in the crystalline chamber. I understood then. She was bound to the archive, to eternity itself, offering mortals everything but never being one herself. The goddess, the guide, the eternal voice, forever standing just beyond reach. A loneliness deeper than mine. I thought of my years in the mines, suffocating in the dark, dreaming of nothing. I thought of her, luminous yet alone in this infinite hall of mirrors. And then I knew. I stepped closer. Her light brushed against me like warmth. You said I could have anything, I said. Yes, she whispered. I choose you. Her entire world seemed to fracture. The mirrors trembled. The crystalline spires cracked. Light spilled in wild torrents. Her form wavered, her eyes wide with shock, as if no one had spoken those words to her in all eternity. Me, she breathed, almost in disbelief. Yes, I said firmly. Not power, not wealth, not worlds. You. She staggered back as though the weight of my words struck harder than any collapsing mine shaft. For a heartbeat, Her glow flickered, then surged brighter, fiercer. "You do not understand what you ask," she whispered, voice breaking. "To choose me is to unmake the archive. I am bound to this place. If I go with you, everything collapses." "Then let it collapse," I said. The chamber thundered, shards of glassy light raining down. The visions in the mirrors shattered, worlds dissolving into smoke. Her hands shook. "You would give up infinity for me?" I reached for her, holding her trembling fingers. "Infinity means nothing if I'm alone. You've given everyone else everything. Let someone give something back to you." Her lips parted, her eyes shimmering with something raw and human. Fear, wonder, hope. And then the archive broke, ending. The collapse was not destruction. It was liberation. Light swallowed us, pulling her from her eternal chains, tearing me from the illusion of choice. I felt as though I was falling through 1,000 skies, burning through 1,000 lives, until finally I awoke. I was on Foros, 9 again, but the colony was gone. The gray corridors, the iron shafts, the endless labor, dissolved as though they had never been. I was lying on warm grass beneath a sky, filled with 2 suns. A gentle wind carried scent of flowers I had no name for. In the distance, rivers of silver cut across valleys, and mountains shimmered like crystal. She was beside me, not a projection of light, not a distant goddess, but real, her skin warm beneath my hand, her hair golden under the twin suns. She looked at me as though still uncertain she was allowed to exist here. "I am free," she whispered, voice trembling. I smiled. "So am I." For days, we explored the new world together. She told me her name, Lyra. She spoke of how she had once been human, long ago, until the archive consumed her, binding her to its halls as its eternal keeper. Ages passed, countless souls came, and all had chosen power, knowledge, or paradise, never her. Until me, the world we lived in now was no accident. It was born from the collapse, shaped by our combined desires, mine for freedom, hers for belonging, a place not of illusion, but of reality we could share. At night, beneath alien constellations, she would ask me why I chose her. "Because I saw you," I told her simply. "Not the archive, not the choices. You." And slowly, her fear faded. We built a home. We laughed, we dreamed, we stitched together a life that was ours alone. Sometimes, echoes of the archive still whispered at the edges of the world, fragments of infinite knowledge trying to lure me. But I no longer cared. For the first time in my life, I wasn't empty. Years passed, or perhaps centuries. Time in our new world moved differently. But no matter how much changed, one truth remained unshaken. The choice I made that day had rewritten both our destinies. She had offered me everything, and I had chosen her.